live in 3, 2, 1.
We're over budget. We'll have to go back to the executive.
I think we're live now. And I never want to get going without telling because I don't really know. And it looks like
Yes, you are live.
Okay.
And you are like multi-windowing so hard.
My bad. This is all me. Hello.
Oh my god,
What
the
up,
windows.
What up,
Smithy, see
everybody?
that?
This is Broken Controllers episode 17 here. We got a couple news stories to talk about. It's kind of a light week here, but we are gonna go hard on them. I got a lot to say about them, and I don't know about Irish, but I know I dropped my PlayStation mic. I know we got a lot to talk about here. So as far as those two items go, it might be a shorter show today, but as always, I'm joined by my co-host Irish1620. What's up, man?
Hello, 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 everyone.
And like I said, we got a couple topics to go hard into. Other than that, oh, real quick, some house news, show news. So we are going to create a Broken Controllers Twitter page. Both Irish and I will be the admins of that. If you guys are interested in that, we'll get a link out to you guys as soon as we can. I'm kind of springing this on him because I wanted to see how he reacted.
Hoorah!
We'll both be the admins of that. So if you guys want to get in on that, feel free to go on, like, and subscribe to that page. And then YouTube will be getting Broken Controller stuff out as well. So that's kind of all I got on my end. So let's jump right into it. Irish, what are you playing this week?
Well, this week I am been going hard on Destiny 2 with the recent release of the Solstice event. It comes out every summer. They drop some really cool armor. It's a grind to get, but once you get the armor fully upgraded, you actually have like max level armor. So then at that point, all you have left to do is max up your weapons if you haven't already. But then on top of it, the armor, it gives you boosts depending on what kind of orbs you pick up. And the orbs only drop while you're wearing this armor, the Solstice armor. So like you say you kill something with a void weapon, it'll drop void orbs. You pick up those orbs, it'll charge you up with void. Once you get so many charges, it'll actually start emitting like a void energy from you, damaging enemies that come too close. Plus it does additional damage boosts on your void damage that you're using, whether it be a melee, grenade, rocket launcher, or otherwise. If you're using void damage, it boosts all void damage across the board.
Wow, dude.
And same goes for every element. Plus, once you have fully maxed it out, I think Masterwork at this point, it actually does like a you can change the color of your armor, like how it glows.
Wow, that's cool too. So are they going to keep that feature, or is that just a for now feature? Because that's one thing that bugged me about Destiny. They do those seasonal things.
It's a for now thing, but like I said, once you get the armor and you master it, you've got it. So even outside of this event, you still get those kind of boosts from the armor. And it'll still drop orbs as long as you're wearing that armor, even outside the event. Which, it honestly makes nightfalls and stuff a lot easier. Say you're going into a nightfall, you do a solar boost. Or solar singe, rather. And you have all your solar equipment on, then you have your Solstice armor boosted with solar damage. I'm sure you could see how everything would just stack hard against the enemy.
I have a friend who she runs purely solar. You know, that's what she does. Like, that's her thing. You know, with the hunter, she's the sunshot. With the warlock, she runs solar. That's all she does.
Yeah.
And I can see how these power-ups stacking on top of each other would really be an issue for balancing as far as like the game goes. So how's like the actual campaign part of it? Has that changed at all?
They have added a new game mode with this event. It's called EAZ. I'm really kind of hoping that they stick around with it and it doesn't just go away with this event, because it's really fun game mode. I'm currently playing it right now. But your main goal is you run around, you kill enemies. For each enemy you kill, you unlock a box, a chest. And then after you've killed all the enemies, you run out of time to kill any more. You then at that point have to kill a big boss. Once the big boss is done and down, you're able to at that point go and search for as many chests as you killed enemies. Like high value targets.
So are all of these covered, or are all of them full of like badass loot?
Sad but true, no. I've seen more just crap loot drop than anything.
Really?
Yeah.
Has there been complaints about that?
I have heard quite a few people complaining that the R&D on it is just shit. To say the least.
That's a huge bummer, dude. That sucks. Just sharing this out. Anyway, so what makes this season special? Are you guys still going through like seasons or whatever?
Yeah, we're currently on what, season 7, I do believe.
And how many are there supposed to be?
Seasons?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it changes season every time the season changes. So there's technically 4 seasons a year, right? Spring, summer, fall, winter.
Right, so it actually changes with the... Okay, I was under the impression that you guys had seasons for this last recent update they did for the hand cannon you were trying to get.
Yeah, that was when they just switched over to the summer. Is when that came out. That was the beginning of season 7 was when they dropped that.
Okay. Cool. We'll cover what you downloaded here in Mobile Minute here in just a minute.
Definitely.
What else are you playing this week?
Wife's been back at it playing some freaking Ratchet and Clank.
Oh, cool. I'm interested to hear about this actually, because I was listening to a podcast called Married to the Games, and on that podcast there's a gentleman there whose wife just got into gaming, like hardcore gaming, like gaming. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And she's playing a ton of Overwatch, and you got to see her evolve throughout the time that they've been doing these shows. So yeah, I'm interested to hear about this. So go ahead. Sorry, I interrupted.
We've just been going back through, beating everything that we've already beaten. Like,
okay.
I've smashed the crap out of that game so hard, it's not even funny. Like, there's so many cool weapons.
It's Ratchet and Clank, right? That's what you said it was?
Yeah, yeah. And it's the same old Ratchet and Clank, but they've revitalized it in all the best ways possible, really. Like, they couldn't have done anything better with it than they did, in my opinion. It's perfect.
I owned this game for almost a year and didn't touch it.
Sad
Did
day.
I mess up?
Yeah, bro. Like, it's... Did you like the original? I mean... Because if you didn't like the original, then probably... I mean, I don't know. Because the original was okay, but, dude...
Well, I liked the concept of them, you know what I mean? Like...
It looks beautiful, it's fucking plays smooth and clean. Like, oh.
That's exciting, because you know that's moving in the right direction. If they're smart, they'll continue to make those. And I know that they made a movie that was out of the cutscenes.
Yes, the movie was actually really good.
Really?
I enjoyed it, yeah.
Okay. Damn it, I gotta get into this series.
It is fun.
I want to play. I'm attacking the backlog. I'll actually talk about that.
was trying to. I'm
Oh.
trying to keep up here with killing these big ugly bastards, as well as making sure that I get freaking everything posted out on Discord.
Yeah, I'm out there sharing stuff too.
But yeah, and then I don't know if there have increased chances for things lately, like on exotics, but literally this last weekend, or the past 2 days, Friday, Saturday,
Right.
I've gotten so many darn exotics, is ridiculous.
Well,
One of
that's
which,
not too bad. I mean,
like, I must say,
nothing to
hands down,
complain
it's
about.
probably one of my favorite weapons thus far, is that Black Talon. It's a sword.
Yeesh, that sounds rough.
Yeah, dude, it's an exotic sword that fucking, you legit fling the fucking, you hit the R2 and it flings a fucking blade, a tracking blade across the map at whatever you're fucking aimed at.
Oh, cool. So it
Yes.
just follows people.
Yes. With
Not
death.
bad.
Hardcore death from above.
um,
I'm not
I'll go
finding
into what I was playing, I guess, this week. So I had a rough weekend. I'm not gonna lie. And when I say rough weekend, I don't mean like I went out and drank or like I had a long work day. Here in Southern Oregon, it's kind of some sad news, but here in Southern Oregon, um, sometimes you have a problem with deer jumping out in the road. So, and a lot of the times, like you'll be able to see them, right? And you'll be able to slow down while these deer get out of the road. Nobody wants to hit a deer in Southern Oregon. I can guarantee you that.
Yeah, no.
A rough day. I hit one in my car. It was a
Oof.
terrible experience. Went home. I'm not even gonna lie. I damn near like shed tears over this because it was a really sad thing. You know what I mean? You don't want to do that to an animal. And so it was just a really sad thing. And I had to call the cops and get it all sorted out there. So anyway, that happened, and then I ripped my toe open, and then
Ooh.
also I spilled hot butter on me while I was trying to cook popcorn. So it was a really rough weekend. I didn't have a lot of time to like game, just because everything was going on, just crazy, crazy. So, so rough day, rough weekend. Didn't get a lot of gaming in. I did, however, play Kingdom Hearts. I'm not as far as I'd like to be in Kingdom Hearts. I wanted to have excuse me. I wanted to have cleared the game by now,
There we go.
but I didn't get as much time to play because I'm trying to prepare for a tournament in Mortal Kombat, which I'll talk about that here in just a minute. So I didn't get a lot of time to play, and I'm just trying to maintain, being able to play other games while trying to compete in this tournament. It's not working out real well. So I didn't get a lot of time this week, you know what I mean? So
Mhm.
first and foremost, I guess I'll just kind of leave that at that, but I did get to play some stuff. I played Kingdom Hearts 3. I didn't get as far as I would have liked to, but on Kingdom Hearts 3, I got to San Francisco, which is excuse me, Big Hero 6. Um,
Ah.
so this game is a lot of Pixar games. Now in the past they've been Disney worlds, right? Now it's Pixar worlds. It the transition from 1 to 2 held a lot of the same worlds. So we're talking like Halloween Town, Aladdin, Atlantica, um, uh, Olympus Coliseum. You fought with the Beast twice. You know what I mean? So you didn't
Mhm.
get a lot of variation from 1 to 2, and in this they went ham with it. They were like, we're gonna give you all kinds of stuff you've never seen. So they kept 3 worlds that are actually kept in 1 and 2, and one is Twilight Town, obviously. And then the other one is surprise, surprise, Hollow Bastion isn't in it, so that's like whoa. The other one that they kept in there was Pirates of the Caribbean. It's a completely different landscape now, though. So they did keep that. Oh gosh, I think I'm losing internet connection. Oh gosh.
Oh,
You're losing connection? I think we're losing internet connection.
I had
We're
a
kilobytes.
I taken my connection there for a second too
That was
on the
weird.
upload.
That was strange. I think
I'm
we're
gonna
back though.
pull my numbers back down to a 42. I'm just trying to play with my bitrate numbers on my end to see what I can do, what I can't. I started hitting the red there when I had it set for 45.
Anyway, so in this one they were just like, we're gonna give you all you can handle, right? All this new stuff. So you jump into it, and very first things first, like, my phone is just locked up harder now. So just a minute here, guys. I apologize.
You all good?
That's why Twitch stopped responding. That's cool. There we go. I got it back. Oh wait, no, that's Irish. It's my bad. I need to go to mine.
Dum dum dum.
It's not responding again, dude. What's up with this? Weird. Not wanting to do its thing. Anyway, I'll worry about this here in a minute. Anyway, so it's all these Pixar all these Pixar worlds. So, like the only worlds that they kept were Pirates of the Caribbean, Twilight Town, and I think that's really it. I think that's it. Oh wait, no, they kept Olympus Coliseum too. They kept Olympus Coliseum, which was actually thieves in this one. So it was a different themed world. It was still, you know, Disney Pixar type stuff.
Okay.
But anyway, so I got all the way to San Francisco. I'm almost done with that mission there, and then all I have left is 20 hours of essentially videos, but it explains the series, so I'm not mad at that. You know, so I played gosh, dude, I've been going so hard on Apex lately. Now I said very loud.
Sorry.
No, you're good. I said earlier in an earlier episode that Apex was a bad game, that there wasn't a lot to do, and the only benefit that you had to getting Apex is the battle pass. I lied. Okay, so a friend put this in perspective for me. Now when I play Apex, you're playing a shooter, right? So you're playing, you would think you're playing for kills. Gosh, whatever, Twitch. Twitch is being just ridiculous right now on my phone. Anyway, so I said Apex was a bad game, and you only want the battle pass, and that's how you want to play it. And that's just, I was totally wrong, and I'll admit when I'm wrong, right? So here's why I say that. Because a friend put it in my head today, and I actually thought about it, and I was like, wow, this is actually like how you want to play this game, right? There's an actual way that you want to play this game. And just like any other game, you know what I mean? So playing a shooter, you're thinking, okay, I'm gunning for kills, right? So that's like arena shooters, Halo, COD, you know, stuff like that. You know, that's not battle royales. My buddy said, it's not about the kills, and it's really not. People don't care how many kills you get. What they care about is how much damage you do. You need to play this like a strategy game. You need to play this strategically You know what I mean? Because that's what it's all about. That's how you progress in this game.
DPS all day.
So that's how I started playing it, and it's a
It's like
lot more fun,
Destiny.
dude.
Destiny
Yeah,
is all DPS.
exactly. Like, well, it's not even DPS. It's just like for Apex, it's not even DPS. It's just for Apex, it's not even even DPS. It's like how you flank the enemy. So like, for instance, like here's a good example. My brother and my buddy that I was playing with, they went at this team, right? And this team focused solely on them. I punched a portal off to their location, then around the back, I went around the back, and I flanked them from the back. When it was all said and done, I had 524 damage. But I wasn't getting any damage from the time that I was touching that portal. So not only was I helping my teammates, I was also able to sneak around to the back and get some damage in. You know what I mean? And like, if you're that versatile and you're moving, I've won a lot of games so far, and I haven't put a reason to why that is, but like I guess it would be the fact that, you know, I work strategically with the teams. I revive them when I need to. You know, I fall back when they tell me to, and that's a lot of being told what to do. But it's people that are better at the game than you. You know what I mean? So if you can work as a team and you can benefit your teammates, and then also figure out a way to flank these enemies successfully, so that you're not getting yourself killed, you make a lot of people as far as team skill goes. You know what I mean? So I've had so much fun with Apex, like, just today. Like, I hopped in, and they were like, you know, it's a strategy game, you want to play for kills, you want to play for damage, teammates. You know, part of the fun of this game, and a lot of people don't look at it this way, it's really sad, but part of the fun of this game is actually having the teammates. Having to go and recover your buddy's banner. Having to go and respawn your buddy while your other buddy's engaging. You know, not getting yourself killed in between. You know what I mean? Like, that's where a lot of the fun comes from this game, and like, it's been really exciting. I want to play more. So I'm looking forward to that. So gonna do more and more of that as time goes.
Yeah.
So you'll probably hear it. I'm preparing for a tournament in Mortal Kombat. I played some Mortal Kombat this week, obviously. Lots of just practice. Honestly, I could have swore this was one of the A tournaments, but I think it's a prelim to get into either A combat. Like, I'm not sure what it is. I just know that it's a tournament, and I want to do. So there it is. That's what it is. So I'm not gonna try and bullshit it. I've been preparing for that. You know, playing a lot of Mortal Kombat. Working on chaining combos together, you know, working on, you know, defensive tactics, offensive tactics. A lot of what I've been doing this week, it's rough because, you know, you get up into the upper echelon and you start, because I'm in the top 100 in the world right now. I've busted my ass to get to that point. You know what I mean? I have worked really hard to get to that point, and I'm only like number 98 in the world last time I checked. So I'm in the top 100. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
And I've worked really hard to get to there. But when you get up to the upper echelons, like the 60s, 70s, 80s, like when they pair you with an 82 who's like number 53 in the world, that's not exciting. That's not fun. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what they've been doing, you know what I mean? And it's really hard to keep that motivation and move through and still prepare for the game. Like today, I was fighting this one, or no, it wasn't today, it was yesterday. I was fighting this one dude who's using Kano. He let me touch the ground like twice. That's it.
That's a hard juggle.
Now, there's ways around that. There's your breakaways, and then there's your rolls and your get-ups if you're fast enough on that stuff. Like, you can get away from that. With that said, it's really hard when somebody's juggling you and getting, you know, 16, 17, 18 hit combos on you, and you're just, your only option is to sit there and take it. Like, that's not fun. Like,
It's
so,
getting brutal.
I'm working, I've gotten better. I'm working on, first off, not raging. I haven't been streaming Mortal Kombat 11 at all because it does have a way of getting you to a yelling point. Let's just keep it at that. So I haven't been streaming a lot of Mortal Kombat really at all. I haven't been doing a lot of streaming. That's going to change, but there'll be a lot more videos coming to Twitch specifically. But
Yeehaw.
yeah, exciting. But you know, I've been getting better. I've been working on my combos. I've been blocking certain starters. There's certain starters that you gotta watch for that'll pop you up. There's other ones that where if you get hit and you get knocked down immediately, it's not so bad, but you learn to pick these things out. Biggest recommendation I can give people, if you're gonna get into Mortal Kombat and you guys want to actually take it seriously, go into practice, okay, disregard that. Go into classic towers, put it on medium. If you blaze through it, put it on hard until you start having a difficult time with it. Then go into practice, choose the level above whatever you're having a difficult time with, and practice on that level. You will get good fast, really fast. So I highly recommend that for anybody that wants to play. It's fun. It's a good time. I think that's really. Oh, backlog attack. Yeah. So, I played Final Fantasy 13 too. It's an older game, but I'm trying to get through Lightning Returns by like no later than the end of the year. You know, that's gonna be. They're all pretty good sized games. So. So I'm looking forward to that. I have the strategy guide for that game. The strategy guide is really good, like for bosses and certain stuff like that, but some of the bosses in this game are really intimidating. Now, when I say intimidating, I don't mean like they're not Final Fantasy 13 hard. You know what I mean? But with that said, like, oh, we're losing connection again. Dang it! What is going on with my internet? Oh, there we go. Came back. Goodness. Whatever. Anyway, they're not Final Fantasy 13 hard, but they're still pretty tough. You know, they're competitive bosses. So like, it turns into a situation where it's like a power struggle. So like, the bosses will hit you for a lot of damage. You'll switch to a different paradigm, and then it becomes a contest of which sentinel do you have set for the defense, for the tank, and then who's healing.
Mm-hmm.
So like, a lot of times if you're taking a lot of damage, you'll want to switch to a triple healer class. You'll heal, you know, that's if you're in like an emergency situation. You want to switch to a medic class and heal your guys up, and then switch to the Sentinel, which is Combat Clinic, so that's Sentinel, Medic, and that'll carry you through on through the boss fight. So, it's an interesting push and pull, you know what I mean? There's a lot of... You're juggling a lot, and I had my nephew in here, Harley. He was in here watching me play. And I said, look, you're probably not going to understand a lot of what's going on. And, like, he fell asleep in here. Like, he was so bored. He fell asleep in here. He was done.
Jesus. He knocked me way off the map. Oh. Nope, I'm fucked.
Anyway, he fell asleep. And then he told my dad, he's like, gosh, Final Fantasy is such a boring game to play, or game to watch. And it's actually not. Like, there's a ton going on. You know what I mean? You just gotta know what you're looking at. And like, you'll see people that'll go from like Relentless Assault to Tri-Tower to Combat Clinic to Diversity back to Relentless Assault, and they'll do it like they're on it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like they're back and forth.
That
you
was
know what I mean?
that was me when I was playing it. I was swapping hard, dude, just
Yeah.
hitting them on the brakes.
Yeah, dude. Like, and you have to, because that's what the ATB is built around. Like the enemy has an ATB and you have an ATB. Like that Saboteur class, dude, with slow is beyond stupid. Like it's a good little, yeah. But it's an interesting take. That's really it. I mean, that's my backlog for now. I kind of have been playing God of War as well a little bit here and there. But I mean, God of War is a much more, I mean, it's a much more technical game than most. Like, when I play that game, I have to be in the mood for that game. So, you know, it's just like an RTS. I gotta be in the mood for that. But,
I can definitely understand that.
It's funny, we can hear your controller vibrating every time it vibrates.
Yeah. Kill him.
So why don't you talk about Mobile Minute?
Alright, as far as the Mobile Minute, there is going to be, at the end of August, a new game being released by Nintendo. The, Pokemon Masters, which is a 3v3 system.
How is it? Is it traditional Pokemon gameplay, or is it like...
It's new altogether. Like, it
Oh.
has some traditional aspects and feels to it, but for the most part, this is a whole new ball game.
Wow. Okay. Go
And
ahead.
what it is number one, you've got a story, okay? Like, above all, you have a fucking a story, and it's a mobile game, free.
Right.
And
So
you're in
that's cool.
a new zone or region. It's called Paseo. And
Okay, now, hold on, I got a question. Now, when you say new region,
like Kanto region and all, you know, all the different regions. Like this
right,
is
so you
a
get
new
new
one.
starters.
It's like I said, it works different. I started out with Pikachu, which I think that's just how it has you start in the story. But then as you
Okay.
progress through the story, you meet with other masters, and those masters have their own Pokemon. So like, you know, you come across Misty. What was Misty's number one? Her
Starmie.
exactly. Each one of the masters has that one Pokemon that was
Rocks
close.
with Onyx.
Exactly. So
yeah.
I'm sure you can start doing the math from there. You have every one of the masters from all of the games to date.
I'm gonna check this out. I might actually spend money on this.
It's free.
Oh, but the in-game transactions, right?
I mean, yeah, you're only really paying for gems from what I'm seeing currently.
But what do those gems actually get you?
They allow you to do more unlocks. But you earn gems pretty quick and easy from just doing missions and shit.
Okay. I mean, I'm interested to... I mean, I want to check it out.
Like I just
Pokemon, Nintendo's got a pretty good run for these mobile games lately. Who developed it, you know? Was it Niantic?
No, this one was God, that's a good question. And I can't look it up on my phone because
No worries.
we're
you
on
do
call,
good.
so I'm gonna look up on Google real quick.
I was gonna say, we can get on Google real quick.
Yes, yeah, and to play this one, I had to go and download the APK that finally released because they've officially released in Canada and Singapore.
Okay.
But you have to get a VPN, and you have to find a VPN, like a mobile VPN app that you can use that allows you to connect to Singapore.
Wow, okay.
Because I tried doing Canada as the VPN and it worked for a while, but then it went into this like repeating maintenance. So to get around the maintenance issue, you have to freaking go and connect through Singapore on the VPN. Man, dude,
so
it's...
you gotta jump through a lot of hoops to play this game right now, huh?
Right now, yeah. I mean, but you also have to keep in mind it's only available in Singapore and Canada, and it won't be available here until August. And if they catch you, if they see that you're out of region claiming that you're in a region that you're not actually in, they'll shut your account. So yeah, so I went and I created a whole new like side Nintendo account,
I don't blame you.
and used one of my side emails just in case. I plan to save the real fun for. Oh.
Put down for the real account.
Yeah. Sorry, I just got hit from the side hard as soon as I dropped my super.
You're good, man.
It was brutal.
So, I guess that's gonna do it for another minute. I mean, do you have anything else that you wanted to add while we were talking about it?
God, I wish I could bring up the game real quick, cause
Well, I'll be getting it as soon as it comes out over here in America. I don't want to mess with, you know, they're banning people. I get on that. So, nobody's posting in chat.
I had one person lurking before they go live.
Yeah. I got 4 right now, so we're doing alright. Appreciate all 4 of you.
Yeah! Yiggity yiggity yeah!
So let's move into news. There's 2 really, like, these stories bug me, dude.
So before we move with that, it's Dena, D-E-N-A Company Ltd. Is the developer of this Pokemon Masters.
Dena. Okay, Dena. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. So let's move into news. So I'll just read the headline here. What I'm gonna do, so I'm gonna read you guys what the story says, and then I'm going to tell you why it's wrong. So I'm gonna report on this. I have no problem doing that because, you know, this is our job, like as podcast hosts. Sorry for the camera issue. So I'm gonna report on this, and then I'll tell you why it's wrong. So, the headline: the top House Republican is blaming video games for this weekend's mass shooting. Now, very first things first, I need to say what happened in Texas was terrible. I'm pretty sure that's where I was at, in Texas, if I'm not mistaken. There's no doubt about that. Those people are monsters. I'm not gonna list their names. I'm not gonna read the expose they released, you know, because that's what they. You know, those people are monsters. It's terrible what happened. But this is what they're saying. An article on Vox.com, written by Jane Coston. I think that's right, Coston. Explains in an interview on Fox and Friends, House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy blamed video games that quote dehumanized individuals. So when we're talking about that, I'm believing that he's referring to GTA, Red Dead Redemption. There was a mission in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, I believe, that was pretty wild, and to say the least. Did I lose? Oh no, you're muted. Okay. Just make sure you're still here. No worries, you're good. Take your time. But anyway, you know, so those are the games that they're talking about, you know, and most famously for these kind of scenarios is like, you know, Red Dead Redemption, you know, is a really bad one, and GTA is a really bad
Grand Theft Auto is always been there.
Like terrible. But they're games, you know what I mean? So very first thing to remember is they're games. Like these are fictional pieces of media, you know what I mean? So I'll get into the counter argument and all this stuff later, but it just depends. But I'll finish reading this off. It says McCarthy was quoted saying, "To have a game of shooting individuals, I felt that it's a problem for future generations and others." The article also says, quote, this is not a misdiagnosis, and this is from Mrs. Coston herself. You know, this is her opinion on the article. You know what I mean? And I gotta say, you're wrong on this, because here's the thing. It said, this is not a misdiagnosis in response to mass shootings, though authorities currently believe that the shooting in El Paso may be linked to anti-immigration hate based on manifesto that was reportedly posted by the shooter. Okay, that's where the sentence should have ended, because that's what happened.
Right.
She goes on to say, comma, video games have become an easy target for politicians of all stripes following acts of mass violence. So what she's saying there is this is what happened. It was an anti-hate thing. It was a hate thing, an anti-immigration thing. It was a hate crime. That was directly linked to video games. These people are violent because they play these types of video games. Okay, that's what they're saying. I just want to make that clear right now, okay? Because this, I'm gonna destroy this argument. Okay, so.
Hey man, all I gotta say is I played first-person shooters, third-person shooters, and all of that my whole life, bro. I ain't gone out and shot nobody.
This is such a ridiculous claim, dude. Alright, so first and foremost,
self-control.
First and foremost, psychologists admit that there is something going on in the brain when you're playing video games, but they don't know exactly what. All they know is that it activates the same systems as when you're using a drug. So those system receptors that release these chemicals, these endorphins in your bodies, are being activated when you win a match, or you get a new friend, or you get likes on your video posts on Xbox.
Oh yeah?
That's what they know is happening.
Well, go and get an A+ on an assignment. See what happens.
No kidding, right?
Same chemicals, bro.
Anyway, yeah, exactly, same chemicals, dude. No different, right? So
don't be happy.
They know that this is happening, but they don't know what. So to say that these mass shootings are linked to video games, and that's what I believe, there's no evidence to support that. There's no scientific, that has yet to be observed. That is a theory. That is, by scientific definition, a theory. It has not been observed. There's nothing that psychologists nor social experts can explain what's going on in your head when you play video games. That's not to say that there are bad things happening because of video games.
They'd have to be able to get full live reading of the chemicals that are being freaking created and emitted by your brain.
There's no evidence to support that either way. You know what I mean? So to say that either way is ridiculous, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
we can't
exactly.
say it hasn't been observed. We can't say whether or not that's causing issues in our society. We know that video games are linked to. We know that people who, violent tendencies in video games. People with violent tendencies in video games tend to yell more. We know that. So there is some evidence that suggests video games could make you a little more violent in that social setting. That's all that means. That doesn't mean that they're linked to these shootings. Secondly, there's media out there that far surpasses video game stereotypes. So think about whatever you want in video games, and the worst possible thing that I can think of is Modern Warfare 2, when they had you go into the airport and you mowed down all these people, you know what I mean? We're losing internet connection. That's lovely.
Man down?
There we go. We're back. Anyway, the closest thing that I can think of was Modern Warfare, when you ran into that airport and you started mowing people down. You know what I mean? Like, that was the worst possible thing that I can think of. Okay? But in movies, we've seen straight up full-blown terrorist acts committed. You know what I mean? In movies, we've seen, you know, people killed by the dozens. I mean, think about Kingsman. You know what I mean? Kingsman is a great example. You know what I mean? People killed by the dozens by one person, not even with a gun. You know what I mean? We've seen, there are all these violent gang movies out there, dude. Like Hannibal Lecter, all these scary movies. You're gonna tell me seriously that video games are the main leading cause of all this crisis, when there's all this other media, including music, that's contributing to this society? And a lot of the times, the people who commit these atrocious acts will tell you that it was a lot of music, it was a lot of getting picked on, and it was a lot of being alone. You know what I mean? It's not like it's not like video games and you know, survivalists of this thing have been recorded saying, you know, this guy got picked on every single day. You know what I mean? Like, that's what's causing this. It's not video games. It's not media. This sorts of media has been around for years. So to say, you know, this one thing is linked to this mass shooting, you're making a ridiculous claim. That's not even in the realm of right, because there's so much other media out there that's being put on us that we're dealing with on a daily basis, and that, I think, has more of a hinge on this stuff than video games. This sort of thing that happens, and again, it's terrible. This sort of thing that happens is usually upper class that commits. You know, it's usually upper class kids. It was the Sandy Hook thing. You know, the gosh, I hate talking about this stuff, dude. I'm gonna get off this subject, but I mean, I really hate talking about this stuff, but it's an atrocious thing. You can't say video games contribute to it, 'cause it's not accurate. It's not.
Yeah.
I don't know how you feel about it, but I know, as far as I'm concerned, you have no right. We as gamers, through ESRB, the what is it, the ESA, you know, we've dealt with a lot to be able to enjoy the games that we want in American society, you know, and you got a lot of activists here that are going to fight any legislature that you put against video games. It's not going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
It's not going to happen, because you will hear... I'll tell you one thing about the gaming community. When something happens that they don't like, they are loud. They get very loud, they get very negative, and people know that they're talking. They will not allow legislation to be put on video games to the degree that this guy wants to put legislation on video games. And I'll tell you right now, everybody has their own agenda in office. You'll never know what my political preference is. Everybody has their own agenda in office. This guy is pushing his agenda. He doesn't like video games, so he's going to try and push it. That's what it is. And it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It really, really upsets me.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking stupid.
Yeah. Going into the second story this week. E3 leaks personal information on over 2,000 journalists, game journalists. An article, now, we don't usually report on Kotaku, just because I don't like their view on a lot of things. But an article posted on Kotaku written by Maddie Myers states a spreadsheet containing the contact information and personal addresses of over 2,000 game journalists, editors, and other content creators was recently found to have been published and publicly accessible on the website of the E3 Expo. End quote. So that was something that she wrote on Kotaku. The links were reportedly removed. The the article also explains that the existence of the document was first publicized on a YouTube video that journalist Sophia Narwitz posted to her personal channel on Friday night. So she was the whistleblower on this thing, you know what I mean? She was the one that was like, "Hey, this is happening. This is what's going on." So I found it interesting that that somebody was able to find this before it was a problem, or after it was a problem. Coming into E3 Expo, you should feel that your information's secure. You're going to a floor full of software designers. You'd hope that they could keep their system secure. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But it's like you said, hackers are pretty incredible. On that note, I'm gonna this story has more to it, but on that same MTGG podcast I was listening to, Gabe Patilla, they're a great group of guys, like just amazing people, and he was saying, like, I really like hackers because they find backdoors, like basically what you were saying, necessary evil.
Yeah,
And
if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have a lot of the fixes we need, because we wouldn't have
right,
known what the issues was there in the first place.
right. So it was a necessary thing, is what he was saying. But man, if you gotta have my opinion on this, man, I gotta disagree, dude. Because here's the thing, like a lot of the hackers and stuff now, if you're just shutting down servers.
Oh, we lost you on PS. Looks like you dropped out the PS. Might have been controller.
People, I have something to show you.
You just dropped out.
Welcome.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Because you left party altogether. So, yeah, so I'm guessing it probably went to sleep.
Do you come for advice, Guardian? I may have what you seek.
What did we get here? Misfit 734.
We have battles to fight. I can wait.
Everyone, come here for a second.
I'll take it.
You might be able to just join right back in from party chat, in the party chat settings. Should be able to see it and then join right back in. Should be at the top of the list, I'm guessing. Well, no, if you go into the actual party, there should be like at the top of the list, but I'll send you an invite real quick. Just trying not to blue screen.
Not afraid of the dark.
I just went and
I can fix this.
sent that invite your way.
This is going to happen, Warlock.
Dude, once I get this job, I plan on upgrading the internet, and I'm been tossing around paying for that gigabit internet. Can you imagine? I think they have up to like a like 50 to 100 upload on the gigabit connection.
You have me now?
Yes, sir.
Checking.
Sorry about that, guys. I forgot what I was saying. Um, oh yeah, I gotta disagree, man, because you know, a lot of these hackers, like, they do show the backdoors, and if you're just shutting down servers,
All
I get
goods
that.
for trade.
You know what I mean? That is a
Take a look.
necessary evil, for sure. But when you start running up credit cards, and you're using people's identity, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and
Come see me again, Guardian.
you're
That's malicious.
causing servers to go down for years at a time, that's malicious. Exactly. That's rough, dude. You know what I mean? And I can't respect that. I just can't. On the other hand, I do see where they're coming from. I do see where you're coming from. You know what I mean? But anyway, the way that the ESA has handled this has been less than satisfactory. The ESA hasn't released an official statement calling this website vulnerability. Now, what they're saying there is that when you enter into any sort of system, especially one that connects to the internet, you run the risk of having that information released publicly. That's not what happened here, and that extremely aggravates me because that is not what happened here. They know damn well that's not what happened here. You know what I mean? What happened here is somebody got a hold of a spreadsheet that they shouldn't have had a hold of and straight up posted it online to their official website. You know, that's a them problem. You know, like that they need to be more regulated on how they use that information. That was somebody that shouldn't have been posting that on the website.
Yeah,
You know, and
accountability,
I almost think
man.
it was some sort of elaborate prank, like, oh, I'm getting fired today, you know what I mean? I'm just gonna do. I could see that, you know what I mean? But that's not website vulnerability. That's straight up. You made this information public. There it is. You know what I mean? That's what happened, and it's aggravating. Like, just talking about this stuff, dude. It's aggravating to think that somebody would go to the extent to say, "Oh, well, that was website vulnerability. That wasn't our bad." Okay, first off, own your mistakes.
For real.
Like, just own your mistakes. You know, like that's all I can really say about that. Several corporations left the ESA, including Activision, Vivendi Games, LucasArts, and id Software.
Damn.
Stunts like this are not helping their case. If the ESA keeps acting like this is the electronic. Oh gosh, what does ESA stand? I cannot remember. I'm gonna Google it real quick.
Electronic Standards Association?
Is that what it is?
I think. Man, we'll
Oh,
verify.
it's the Electronic Software Association. That's what I think it stands for. I'm pretty. Yeah, Entertainment Software Association. That's what.
Yeah,
it is.
see, we're both
The ESA.
wrong.
Yeah, we were both wrong. The ESA. You know, they're the people that run E3. Like, if this continues to happen, you're not gonna have corporations jumping at the chance to get into this expo, and that's gonna change gaming forever, dude. Because people wait for E3 for months.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, you know, they're always weighing out Sony and Xbox's button heads. You know what I mean? There's also one thing that I wanted to report on. This isn't really news. This is something that was actually reported a while ago. The article said, quote, PlayStation was the real winners of E3. So I clicked on this article. It said, now what sparked this was I heard a conversation on a show that was saying, you know, this is why E3 won, or this is why PlayStation won E3 2018 or 2019, and it was that they reached 100 million units being sold in in its lifespan. So that was what the article said was the real reason PlayStation won E3. Nobody goes to E3 for sales numbers. Nobody cares at E3 how many consoles you sold. In fact, I don't even think there's a price that was listed at E3, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, wow.
I mean, maybe they talked about it with the Scorpio. I don't know. that there was not, if I'm not mistaken, there wasn't a single price, a single number for price thrown out at E3. I could be mistaken. I stand corrected if that's the case. But there wasn't a single price, if I'm not mistaken.
Damn.
Nobody gives a damn about how many units PlayStation sold at E3. You go there for hardware and software. That's what you go there for. Hardware that's coming out, software that's coming out. So, I don't know. I'm very... That was also something that kind of irked me a
Once
little
more,
bit.
the curse spreads.
So,
Once more, I need your eyes on the
I think that's gonna wrap it up. Was there anything that you wanted to mention while we're here, Irish?
I don't believe so. I think I covered everything.
I thought you
All right,
might like
awesome.
that one.
So that's pretty much it. That's gonna wrap it up this week, guys. Irish. Oh, one more thing. By the way, if you guys have questions, feel free to ask. You guys can ask that at, you guys can ask them to me or Irish. You guys can get a hold of me on Broken Controllers, and that's on Facebook, and you can ask the questions that way, or you can ask them via Twitter. Where can they follow you, Irish?
I've moved the forward base to the shore.
Irish, oh, let's see here. Twitter and Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Irish1620, Instagram, and Facebook, Irish1620.gaming.
Alright, so if you guys got a question for Irish, go ahead and get that out to him via those sources. And if you guys want to ask me a question, you guys can ask it at BTGinferno on Twitter. On Facebook, you can search Broken Controllers. That's going to be our YouTube page. We will have a Broken Controllers Twitter coming soon, as stated at the beginning of the show. Also, be sure to join the Discord, Broken Controllers on the Discord. We don't have a lot of members in there right now, but any support is appreciated. And then also Twitch, Mixer, BTGinferno, and BTG_Inferno on Mixer. And then that's pretty much it. So it's gonna wrap it up this week, guys. I appreciate you guys showing up. Irish, it's been a pleasure, man. Thanks for showing up.
As always, man.